right. You're doing it walking now? Is that what
Oh
it
yeah,
is?
I, I'm pulling up right at the time of the appearance, so I'm getting into the spot here.
I got you. It's
Yeah.
all good. That's kind of the way it is. It's on the fly. You're working. So let me ask
Hey.
you something. You don't believe any of this stupid stuff with Waddle, right?
Oh, as far as trade rumors and trade
Right.
possibilities.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see that. I feel like he's one of the most valuable assets the Dolphins have internally. Which, okay, yeah, by that thinking, well then, if you are, if the season is going awry, I could understand why you would think, okay, just go ahead and move on and get something out of him. But um, I think he would be a guy that you do want to keep around for whatever direction you go into, whether it is that you are continuing to try to win down the road, or if you have to go into a rebuild, that you could still retain good players as part of a rebuild. So,
I can play the what if on both sides. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying it's a fucking bullshit report. There's no fucking
oh,
truth to it, and it's fucking lazy shit. So I'm asking you, what do you think about this? Because when I see anybody in the local media retweet it, this is what I think about whoever does it in the local media. Oops, I have no insight. I don't really know what's going on. So let me retweet it and cover my ass because, hey, if SNY reported it and I retweeted it, I at least exposed it. And if it's wrong, it's on them. It's not on me. But since I don't feel good, going out and just slamming the report and just saying, that's it. No, let me just give gas to the fire of a lie and let me just put it out there because I don't know if it's true or not. Let me just cover my ass on a bullshit story. That's what I see when people do this instead of squashing it like I did with Dalvin Cook, I did with with Taylor, like I did with the Tua trade a year ago. Oh, they're shopping. No, they're not. Um, oh, they're going to trade Tyreek in the offseason. No, they're not going to trade Tyreek. They cannot. So I'm asking conviction wise, why is it that people fuel this bullshit?
see, I think if there's a report from a legitimate news source out there, then um, that is a way to go about it. Is that you acknowledge this is out there, and then I think you would have to have conviction to squash it as bullshit. Like you would legitimately need to have that information come to you. So if in fact you do not have it that strongly coming into you, then I think it would be the right thing to acknowledge, hey, this is out there. This is what they're saying. And that is what it is. We don't have it one way or another to go ahead and squash it entirely or to confirm it. So, yeah,
Well,
that's where I would stand on that. I haven't really played into it too much, but I am writing today about trade rumors and talk to Waddle and Waller. I plan to ask or not Waller on that, but Waddle and Jalen Phillips, and I do plan to
that's
ask Mike McDaniel here later.
That's not fair to them, dude. That's not fair to them. They're not asking for trades. They're not doing anything. They're not acting disgruntled or anything like. At no point has Waddle act disgruntled. At no point has Jalen
Oh
Phillips
no, no.
acted disgruntled. So then, where's this coming from? And as I've kind of found out now, do you expect 8 or 9 wins in the next 11 games?
No.
Okay, both are gone. Both are gone.
Wait, I
They're
thought
gone.
you were just saying it was all bullshit.
No, I'm talking about McDaniel and Greer. They're gone.
Okay, okay, yeah, both McDaniel and Greer.
They're done. So
Hmm.
why would, unless you show some kind of an incredible turnaround, you're not coming back. How are they going to give them any power to make any kind of moves? The only one I could see is Chubb because of fiscally, there's a window coming up in the offseason. So I kind of understand that one because that one was probably already discussed a year ago. So I kind of understand that one. Outside of that, the H and the Waddle, bro, that's just content filling bullshit to bait fans into. There's no truth to that, dude. You got to decide. The new people will decide what talent they want to keep and what talent they want to get. You can't. The people that are exiting, can't be making the decision.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that if you're in transition, and then that would be when Steve Ross wants to make that move, if and when that time comes, because until you do make a move, until you do make a change, then that is their job. The people currently in power is to decide on exactly those things.
Well, no, it's not. Not if their future is not certain. That's the thing. They can't make that.
Ross could put a kibosh on things like
That's what I'm saying. So it's all now based on how the season ends, and I think we know how the season's going to end.
Yeah. Now the trade deadline comes before the season ends. Is the other thing. So
I get that.
Decisions have to be made before then. Like with Calais Campbell last year, that whole thing, and the Dolphins told him we do see a turnaround coming. It came to an extent, but not enough to get into the playoffs, which ultimately is what obviously Calais would have hoped for at this stage in his career, coming down here for you.
That made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I always felt bad for him. Yeah.
And that's what they're going to do again. They're going to give them every chance to prove themselves and get themselves out of the hole. But by the trade deadline, that's not enough time. So this will continue, and in a couple of weeks, the trade deadline will pass, and those names will be here, and everybody will go, "Oh wow, okay, they wasted more time talking about all this stuff." It's just kind of silly, man. I don't know. It just, to me, we're doing a disservice to fans because we're playing with their feelings about stuff that is not even an issue. Nobody is nobody. This isn't Jalen Ramsey, bro. Nobody's acting like I'm sorry. Nobody's acting like Toast Ramsey.
He was getting cooked. He was getting roasted last night. My goodness.
Yes.
Jamar Chase. Then he was on T. Higgins. Joe. I mean, it's telling when Joe Flacco was picking on him, Jalen Ramsey. Give the Dolphins credit on that one.
Oh, they stole that trade. Didn't they save $6 million? Got a 5th-round pick. Got the better defensive back because Minka is playing better than Jalen Ramsey, and they replaced the tight end with a cheaper tight end and better tight end. They just don't use him enough, but he is better.
That's another thing.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, we have a team that has no idea that they focus on the tight end. You know what I mean? Did you watch Pittsburgh yesterday? Did you check out their tight ends?
Oh my God, Freiermuth and I didn't see all of it, but I think Jonnu was getting involved more early.
Freiermuth, Jonnu, and Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Combined for 10 catches, 144 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Man.
Okay, so I'm just saying some teams understand that the tight end is like really important. Actually, like you should use it. But
and John was just one of 3 in that system. he was all the tight end production last year here, and obviously Darren Waller, a big part of it here. That needs to get back involved after a game and a half where the targets are missing.
It's not him. It's his coach.
Oh yeah, I'm saying yes. That's what I mean. That the Dolphins need to get him involved. Sorry.
Yeah, it's his coach that just has no consistency, and he's a scatterbrain, and he just it's like think about do the simple math. 2 weeks ago, you used the tight end. You're up 17-0. You don't use him in the second half. You lose the game. Last week, you barely used your tight end till the end of the game for an easy touchdown, and you lost by 2 points. I wonder what would happen if you actually gave your quarterback the tight end a little bit more. Damn, what a concept. Let's get Waller and Julian Hill. By the way, Julian Hill, dude, he's had a very good season compared to his first 2. This is what you call a very good season for Julian Hill. Very few mistakes, very few penalties compared to the prior years. He's catching the ball. He's catching the ball consistently. Julian Hill has turned into a good player.
Yeah, no, kudos to him. I'm glad for him because he's a great kid that goes about it the right way. So, obviously he was struggling last year and dealt with a lot of vitriol from fans, of course. And And a lot of it warranted for the penalties and the missed blocks, which blocking was supposed to be the name to his game. But I mean, I just knew from the way you see him go about things, the way he approaches it as an underdog his whole life. Going down from Pee Wee to going to college at Campbell and adversity that he's dealt with in his personal life. Then you knew that was a guy that's just not going to be denied. He's been the underdog his whole life, so you knew he could get out of that. Obviously, it is a difficult challenge when it's happening at the pro level when you're playing against the elite ones. But I mean, I'm glad for him. And Chris Perkins wrote a column on him. Go check that out.
I saw it, and a good article, and I'm happy for him because mentally he proves he's a tough cat because the first 2 years were rough, bro. I mean, he just was all about mistakes and all that, but you could see every time I would say I understand why they're keeping him because, bro, physically, athletically, he should be able to do whatever the hell he wants on the field, actually. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of him maturing and figuring everything out, and it looks like right now, he has turned into a very capable tight end for Tua Tagovailoa. I just wish that they would use both of them a lot more. That's what I think. You got to get more bigger targets involved. All those kind. You see what Flacco was throwing to? He's throwing to some big dudes, bro, and he's a big dude, but he's throwing to some big dudes, and he's throwing to a tight end and everything. So it's like. And they have their share of a few tight ends, so it's like crazy, man.
Especially with Tyreek Hill out there, and that's got to be where you look to supplement some of that miss. You can never replace it. Tyreek Hill is obviously a singular talent that's not to be compared to others, but that's how you just sort of make up for it with the offense as a whole. Between that, obviously Devon Achane, the run game.
But you're nailing it, bro. The part that you're leaving out a little bit is he is kind of like Tyreek. He's a mismatch. So how many
different type?
You have, whatever, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Achane and Waller are your mismatches.
Yeah.
These are guys that are, when he goes out in the open field, no linebacker wants to see Achane because they know they're screwed. Okay? And if you're Waller, dude, safeties and linebackers like, oh, shit, well, this guy's 6'5", 6'6". How do I get around this guy? I can't beat him up to the top, all those kind of things. And he's just like Tyreek in that sense, that when you have players that are mismatches, those are chess pieces that you've got to use all over the field constantly, dude. Constantly. And we use Achane, but we don't use Waller. I don't get it.
No, Waller because of his size, obviously, because you can't cover him on top of each. You can't stack defenders on top of each other to make up for his height. So even if you put two guys on him, if both of them are giving up 4 to 6 inches on him, then he could just go up and get the ball over them. And then Achane, with the way you can line up get a linebacker matched up on him on the outside. If you go line them up out there, if they stay in a certain personnel, when they see who's out there, watch out. Yeah, you can just burn any linebacker with Achane matched up against him.
And remember, with Tua, you have one of the best high ball throwers for all because you notice whenever he's had one of those guys, hell, he has to throw fades to midgets. Do you know how perfect you have to be to drop it in for a midget? So imagine like the one he threw for Waller or Gesicki or whatever. When you give him a big target, he'll use that big target's height as a weapon, and that's been proven. That's why you got to get him out on the field a lot more, man. You just got to get.
Yeah. Right. With a guy like Waller, gone are the days of throwing those fades to like Braxton Berrios, like which we actually saw when he was on the Dolphins, those end zone corner fades to Berrios and Hills. Sometimes I remember the Chargers game when he touched down 23. That one worked there. But like Cedric Wilson had some of those calls as well, who's got a little bit more hype, but not that much. So if you have a Waller, now you can throw those legitimately to a big target.
And Julian Hill, by the way, is another.
Julian Hill, yeah. Now that was my original idea when he made it as an undrafted rookie. He caught so many touchdowns at training camp. I remember his first one as an undrafted rookie at Campbell. he was catching so many touchdowns. I thought legitimately he could be that kind of weapon. I think he still hasn't scored an NFL touchdown, right? So I got to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't. So that would be definitely something, especially as we've seen his improved play.
Yeah, man. It's crazy stuff. Do you think the Tua stuff will affect them at all?
Yeah, I mean, probably to some extent. There probably will be some lasting scars. I think that's why there's differences of opinion in the locker room. Some uh, are going to even go from the one side of backing their quarterback and saying, hey, if that was a problem that's going on, then the quarterback should address it and call out those who are being late to the meetings he's trying to organize. And then you have others that are saying, well, that's on Tua, who broke this unwritten rule, which is actually written because one of the team rules is protect the team, and he didn't protect the team in that case, and he made internal affairs public. And then, yeah, there's going to be some who feel like, yeah, he did need to apologize. Some who said he didn't need to apologize. Some who are going to say, yeah, like apology doesn't mean anything. He said what he said. He's got to fix it. And everyone just wants to move on from it. So at that point, there's going to be those lasting, some people felt differently about it. So, but at the end of the day, because you have that, everyone's going to have to just move on from it. And that's what they're trying to do is focus on the Cleveland Browns as they're 1-5. The Dolphins are 1-5. And if you can't beat the Browns, and you fall to 1-6, losing to the Browns, even if it is over there, even if it is some crazy weather that's expected with the rain and wind, then boy, I mean, your only case is that you're better than the only winless team in the NFL, beating them at home in the Jets. So at that point, what else are you really doing here this season if you lose to the Browns?
The only follow up I would have to that is, and this is, I'm just kind of being a smartass here, to be quite honest.
What? You
Is
never do that.
um, I ask you, will it affect them? Well, they're 1-5. Defense defense can't stop a cold.
Mm,
Like, you know, they're so discombobulated as it is. Offensive line is a sieve. There's no continuity anywhere. You don't finish games. So I'm wondering what's there to save? What was so sacred that Tua violated? That's kind of the part that I find really hilarious about all of this is that people act like the Dolphins are the Florida Panthers and that somebody said something that could derail and ruin the locker room or whatever, or these are the Miami Hurricanes, a team that is really now finally truly turning the corner, and some smart aleck kid is all of a sudden wanting to make it all about himself and pollute the locker or something like. We're not talking. All we heard from these guys was a load of shit about how we're bonding and how we're
mm.
getting together and this is going to help us for the tough times and all that kind of crap, and we're all hanging out together and all that. And I see you're 1-5, bro. I don't see the special teams kicking ass. I don't see the offense kicking ass. I don't see the defense kicking ass. I don't see the coach kicking ass. So I'm wondering what was violated.
That's true. That's a very good point. I mean, you could only go up from here. So, if there is any effect, then maybe it actually does light a fire under some asses and gets guys going to actually turn things around. So it could be an unintended. Well, I mean, I guess it was intended because Tua was trying to light some kind of fire, but just the way it maybe didn't go the way he went, the way he wanted. It went a little sideways as far as how it was perceived. Then but maybe it could all just lead to some because it's not going to get worse. You're 1-5.
I mean,
You make a good point.
I just kind of laugh at all these people that are all these ex-players, nationally, people locally, some of our local Dolphins, former Dolphins, and they seem insulted and all this, and it's like something sacred, and it's like, bro, what are we talking about? We're talking about a garbage team. We're talking about a team that doesn't even play together. It doesn't even. They're the best thing was to drop a goddamn grenade in the middle of it. That's what the best thing was. Drop a grenade in there. Drop several grenades. That's kind of what they need. Maybe this actually speeds up the process of making changes.
Now, when you say making changes, you mean like this season it turns it around, or because
No. I'm talking about bro. This, buddy. I told you
because
the season was done 6 months ago. Okay, I told you the
yeah,
season was 6 months. I'm talking about next year. I'm talking about the changes. That's
the change, yeah.
the changes. This season's done. There's nothing here. There's nothing to save here at all.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay. Now I want to make sure to clarify because I've if you were saying it that way, I would have been shocked by that you were saying it like that. Yeah.
No, but it's just kind of funny how people are up in arms about what? What are you protecting here? There's nothing to protect here. The day you have something to protect, then we can be insulted. You know, if you're trying to ruin what the Panthers are doing, now we've got a problem. You know, but give me a break. I mean, we're like we're at the stock market crash of '08. We've hit rock bottom, bro. There's nowhere
Mm-hmm.
to put up, from here. That's kind of
Rebuild it. Yeah.
that's it. That's just kind of where we're at. Anyway, what's your prediction? What's going to happen in a bunch of bad weather in Cleveland if it really is bad weather?
Yeah, my official prediction I put in, and this is before all the bad weather, so we'll see. But before I found out about it, at least. So I did say the Dolphins win 20-19. I I keep suffering from believing that okay, yeah, they can beat the Panthers on the road when they were spotted 17-point lead, um, thinking that they could go pull that one out against the Chargers, and I feel like the Browns have lost a lot of blowout games. The Dolphins are losing, aside from the Colts one, close games that are right there for them. I believe honestly that they are a better team than Cleveland. So yeah, I do have them winning. I think they're going to be more desperate if they lose to a Dylan Gabriel led Cleveland Browns team. When we just saw the Browns couldn't win with Joe Flacco, and we saw what Flacco was able to do when he had some weapons with Cincinnati and beat the Steelers just last night. Looked elite again. Then yeah, if you lose to this team, then boy, I mean, I can't pick another win. But so for this one though, I will say the Dolphins beat the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. By the way, the most hilarious crap in the world would be that after Tua drops the grenade, they actually turn things around and start playing well. That would actually be the funny part. So anyway, all right. What else you
Yeah.
got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, covering today, which I think I'll write a little bit about the weather going in because that's going to be a hot topic to this game. That'll really affect things, and also all the trade speculation. I did get Jalen Phillips, Jalen Waddle on that, like I mentioned. As this team is 1-5 and the trade deadline comes in a few weeks, this is the time when all that speculation starts happening. So probably put that together. Just earlier this week, wrote about Patrick Paul facing Myles Garrett, and also Jalen Phillips, who was really hard on himself over the missed sack. Wrote some of those things. Oh, and Butch Berry had
This
really
Jalen,
passionate things to say on Jonas
think
Savai
about.
and I.
I want you guys to think about this. Jalen Phillips goes through a rough week where he could have made a game-deciding play,
Right.
and he fails. And at no point has he ever looked like he's unhappy in Miami. He loves it, the wife, the whole thing, social media, and all that kind of stuff. And then now he's got to hear bullshit rumors about things that just aren't true. And by the way, just a little common sense, since I'm an investor, do you sell low, David? Do you know anything about investing? Do you sell low?
Buy low, sell high is what I've always heard.
Okay, so but when you panic, you sell low, right? That happens.
Yeah, yeah. Don't
So
panic.
Jalen Phillips is having a bad year. He's coming off an injury. He has very little value at this point. You'd be selling it at 40, 50 cents on the dollar. Why would you trade him now for a fifth round pick or something like? Nobody's giving you a third. Nobody's giving you a second. Nobody's even giving you a fourth for him at this point. Okay. So aren't you better off just keeping him and maybe tagging him or signing him to a minor deal or something? He can't ask for a lot. He can't ask for a major deal, but you probably could sign him to a reasonable short deal to try to see maybe he's more valuable to you starting next year as a defensive end and a young one next to Chop that maybe turn the corner. You never know. But to sell him now at 40 to 50 cents of the dollar for a pick that really is not going to make a difference, I'd rather take the gamble of hanging on to him already at this point because his potential is you cannot argue his potential. So I don't know, dude. I'd rather show a little patience. You know?
Of course, yeah. Yeah, right. It's potential that you haven't seen yet from the first rounder, at least to its full capability. You saw some glimpses of it, but now he's coming off back-to-back season-ending injuries. Plus, through 6 games this year, he only has 1 sack. So, yeah, you would be selling low if you did. If it was someone who you didn't think you could bring back in free agency because he is on the 5th-year option and his contract is up, then that would be another thing. But he's a guy who likes being here. He's so heavily involved. He met his fiance here. He leads the Dolphins Cancer Challenge, so he likes being in South Florida. He went to school here. His transfer year plus the year that he finished off his college career.
You're helping me. You're helping me. You're
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
you're adding, and then all you guys are going to pound him with these trade questions. Like he doesn't need this shit, dude. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't have any intentions. They have no intentions on trading him. This is like a load of crap on him that he doesn't need. He just doesn't need this.
Yeah, but if it's something that's out there, you got to ask him and then get his reaction, which he handled it the right way. Like, hey, I do enjoy being here. Those are things that are out of my control if it does happen, which is all true as well. And sometimes,
right.
yeah, I mean, sometimes these trades are surprising, and you never see them until it happens. Luka Doncic in Dallas, you never believe it'll happen until it happens.
No, that wasn't rumored. Okay, that was
surprise. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. But I'm not. That's my point is that greater surprises could happen easily.
This is a typical irresponsible report that people are now, just going over and over again, just like Dalvin Cook, just like Jonathan Taylor, just like all offseason trading Tyreek. There was never any truth to any of them. But hey, now let's just keep it alive because we can just print it and say it, and it doesn't. And nobody holds us to any consequences when we're wrong. That we're constantly posting all these fake rumors.
Well, at least what I saw in Phillips, and I don't know, if there were like some, BS accounts or whatever, like trying to report interest or anything. But what I saw was a proposal that ESPN's Bill Barnwell made, which that piece is like for speculation is just okay. Here's what I think makes sense for both teams. He didn't have the full context of the Dolphins for sure.
That's like the NBA idiots with the trade machine.
Yeah, right. That's exactly
Yeah, come on, bro. That's not a story. That's not anything of substance. That's just somebody coming up with a trade. And hey, let's talk about it. But wait a minute, hold on. The guy doesn't want to go. The team wasn't the one wanting to trade him. The other team isn't even asking for him. So what are we doing here? And so now it's a story, and now they have to answer to it. Dude, that is so screwed up. So screwed up.
I hear you, yeah, but it's the reality of these professional leagues, and when players can get traded, with like outside of their will, then that's how these leagues are designed. Honestly,
I got a line for you. That's not very professional. That's what I would say.
What?
So the treatment of the whole thing, bullshit report, bullshit questions, and then you got to put the player through a bullshit scenario. That's not professional. It's not professional to continue to hash out a story that is an absolute lie, or is that somebody came up with it in the football trade machine. Dude, it's just wrong on every level. That's what I would
Hey,
say.
I get it for the personal standpoint of that player, but uh, like I'm saying, this is the reality. These are things that happen in these leagues. Guys can get traded, and when
But
teams are down to 1-5, you can start seeing them as sellers, and you start to think about which teams are the ones that could be interested. So this is no different than anything ever at any trade deadline in any sport.
yeah, I just think it's really
I hear you though. Yeah,
it's just
I mean,
wrong.
it sucks for those involved. Yeah.
All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Don't forget Welt Rheaume, proud sponsors of this segment. We love them. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Save this number. They have their own adjusters. So if you have any kind of damage to your home or business, you call them first. They send their adjusters and they attack the insurance company for you. 954-966-4646. We will catch up on Sunday, David.
Yes, sir. From Cleveland.
Thank you.